Hello friends, good evening. My name is Akash Sanjay Khubragade. I am a PhD scholar at Delhi University, Department of Sociology, and coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is founded by Dr. Professor Leela Karunyakara sir. His idea behind this institution to provide an academic space to professors, doctors, intellectuals, and social scientists who are engaged in the field of Dalit studies. Today, Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge going to have its 36th of lecture. This lecture is a part of a series which we started on 14th of April 2025 on the occasion of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Jayanti. Dr. Professor Karunyakara sir going to chair today's session, and he will also going to deliver today's lecture. So I request Dr. Darshana Meshram, please welcome and introduce our today's guest and chair, Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir. Dr. Darshana Meshram. Dr. Darshana Meshram.
Good evening, all of you. I am Dr. Darshana Mishra. Professor Dr. Karunyakara is a former Vice Chancellor and founder of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. He is the author of The History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. After completing his PhD from JNU, New Delhi, Dr. Karunyakara joined as assistant professor in the School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Ambedkar University, or Center University, Lucknow. He introduced the Dalit history course in the MA history program. He was instrumental in introducing 50% reservation for SC/ST students in the BBAU admissions. He founded Ambedkar University Dalit Students Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Ambedkar Center University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. He joined as director cum professor in the Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidho Kanu Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. He held post of Dean of School of Culture and former Vice Chancellor of the University, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Darshana Meshram. I also welcome Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir. Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir going to deliver today 36th of lecture, and his topic will be on Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Writing and Speeches, volume number 17, part 1, and paper number 31. Dr. Ambedkar and the Jews people. So I request Dr. Professor Leela Karunyakara sir to please deliver his lecture. Thank you. Sir, you are on mute.
On behalf of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, I wish you all happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you, sir.
Dalit community every year on 14th February celebrates Valentine's Day. Dalit community is a universal community. Dalit culture is a universal culture. Valentine's Day is a universal festival. Since Dalit community being a universal community, it celebrates universal culture. As a part of celebrating universal culture, Dalit community every year on 14th February celebrates Valentine's Day. Therefore, once again, to all Dalits and to all whoever part of universal culture, to all, wish you happy Valentine's Day. Now coming to the today's topic, Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. This is a title of a chapter number 31 in the Ambedkar's Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Writings and Speeches, volume 17, part 1. Part 1 about human rights, struggle for human rights. In this volume, lecture number 31 is about the title of the chapter is Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. Actually, this is a title of a news report published in a publication called News from Israel. There's a publication called News from Israel, in which a news report was published with the title Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. This was published in the News from Israel on the occasion of celebrating Ambedkar's 100 years of birth anniversary. It was centenary celebration, part of a centenary celebration. It was published in the News from Israel. That is republished in Praja Bandhu, an Ambedkarite magazine. Praja Bandhu, dated 30th December 1991. 1891, Ambedkar was born. 1991, 100 years completed. So 1991, India celebrated Ambedkar's centenary year. On the occasion of Ambedkar's centenary year in the 1991, News from Israel published about Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. The same thing was reproduced by Praja Bandhu, dated 30th December 1991. Now, what was published in the publication called News from Israel is also reproduced from the original publication, that is Bombay Sentinel, a newspaper called Bombay Sentinel. In 1941, Ambedkar wrote an article titled Moses and His Significance. Not many people know about this fact. Ambedkar wrote an article entitled Moses and His Significance, which was published in a newspaper by name Bombay Sentinel in the year 1941. That was reproduced by News from Israel, from which it was reproduced by Praja Bandhu. From Praja Bandhu, it was reproduced by the editors of this volume. Ambedkar, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Writings and Speeches, volume 17. Here it's reproduced. So today our source of information is from this volume. And this volume got publication from the Praja Bandhu, and Praja Bandhu got it from the News from Israel, and News from Israel got it from the Ambedkar originally written published article in a newspaper called Bombay Sentinel in 1941. Now, why this is very important for us? Why it is so important for the Dalit knowledge and particularly for the Dalit community and to India? Not many people know what is the Ambedkar position on Jewish people. Today we could see there is a big discussion going on all over the world in many universities. Many people are taking the sides of Palestine and some people are taking the sides of the Israel. What is Ambedkar position? What Ambedkar felt about Jewish people? What was Ambedkar position? Not many people know it. So in the background, we have selected, I'm happy to share with all of you that the coordinators of the KIDK selected this topic and asked me to speak on it, which is very much within the context of what's happening today. We all know very well that there's a Palestinian people and Israeli people having conflict, and many siding with the Palestinian and many siding with the Israel. There is a division of opinion with regard to the relationship between the Israel and Palestine. In this background, it is very, very important to discuss Ambedkar views on Jewish people. That's why Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge selected this particular chapter from the volume 17, Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people, for this today's lecture. On this Valentine's Day, we will be talking about Ambedkar views on Jewish people. With reference to Ambedkar views on Moses. What is Ambedkar to Dalits? Moses is to Jews. Ambedkar himself said, I am like a Moses. It's Ambedkar himself said. Ambedkar found inspiration from the Moses to fight for the Dalits. Ambedkar wrote in this article, Moses and his significance. Before we go deep into Ambedkar views on Jews, let me begin with how Ambedkar felt that Dalits are more or less like a Jews. Why? You know very well that Jews were not having homeland. They are fighting for their homeland. They were trying to create Israel in the land of Palestine. So during the British period, it was called Palestine, where Jews claim that even before establishing the Palestine, that land was of Jews. As far as ancient history of Middle East concerned. That's why Jews claim that Palestine is of Jewish land, given by their God. So the whole history of Israelites, the history of Jews, you find that they were finding their homeland. They're fighting for their homeland. How Ambedkar connected himself, Dalit issue with Jews. Today I would like to clarify that Ambedkar was very much sympathetic to Jewish issue. I'm very happy to note that almost all Dalit intellectuals, scholars, and Dalit as a community, even today, supporting the cause of Israel, true to the spirit of Ambedkar position on Israel. My dear friends, the Dalit position is very clear. Dalit position is what Ambedkar position was there in 1941. Same is the Dalit community position today with regard to Israel, with regard to Jews. How Ambedkar connected Dalit issue with the Jews? Of course, Dalit context is India, Jews context is Middle East. Dalit context is Southeast Asia, Jews context of history is in the Middle East Asia. Since geographical locations are different, certainly there would be some difference of facts in the history. However, there is some similarity with regard to the basic problem, the fundamental issue related to Dalits and Jews, that is finding homeland. Jews were trying to create their nation in the Palestine, whereas Indians are trying to create their place within the Indian nation, within the Indian country. Jews wants to have their own country in the Palestine region, that is called Israel. Whereas Dalits not claiming separate country, but they want to find a dignified place in the land called India. Try to understand, there is a difference. Dalits are not trying to create any Dalit country anywhere in the world. No. Dalits are part and parcel of India, but they want to create a dignified space within India. Place is India, but space. Whereas Israel wants to create its own place. That's the difference. But the fundamental question is that homeland. Israel people, Jews want homeland, and Dalits also want homeland. Dalits trying to find a homeland within India. And the Jews trying to find a homeland in the land called Palestine, which the Jews want to create a country called Israel. Dalits don't want to create any country called Dalit land or Dalit country, nothing like that. But they want to create a dignified space, dignified Dalit space within India. Now, let me go to Ambedkar. How Ambedkar related? How Ambedkar felt that he was like a Moses to Dalits, and he was also fighting for the homeland of Dalits. This homeland is a cultural homeland, not a geographical homeland. Ambedkar meaning of homeland is a cultural homeland, not a geographical homeland. Whereas Israel, Jewish people homeland is not only, basically it was a territorial homeland. Geographical location, territorial homeland. Whereas Ambedkar reference of homeland for Dalits is cultural homeland, not a territorial, not a geographical homeland. Ambedkar never wanted to create a separate country for Dalits, but he always wanted to create a homeland, is a cultural homeland within India, a dignified space within India, within the sovereignty of India. Where we get this reference of homeland? Ambedkar was talking. We get this reference of homeland in the same volume. This is the same volume number 17, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Writings and Speeches, volume number 17, part 1, Struggle for Human Rights. In the same volume, now we are talking about chapter number 13, chapter number 31, with regard to Dr. Ambedkar and Jewish people. Whereas Ambedkar talked about homeland in the chapter number, that's a different chapter. He talked about the homeland in the chapter number, yes, in the chapter number, section 2, chapter number 1, volume number 17, part 1, section 2, chapter 1. I have no homeland. That's the title of the chapter. Title of the chapter itself is I have no homeland. Where it is written, where Ambedkar said this one, page number 51. If you people have, you can refer. Page number 51. I have no homeland. That's the title. That's the title of the chapter. In this chapter, Gandhi wanted to meet Ambedkar. So Gandhi wrote a letter to Ambedkar stating that the letter dated 6/8/1931. August 6, 1931, Ambedkar wrote a letter to Ambedkar. Gandhi wrote a letter to Ambedkar. Dr. Mr. Ambedkar. I don't know how, either Dr. Ambedkar or Mr. Ambedkar. Gandhi wrote a letter stating that Dr. Mr. Ambedkar. With due regards to Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, I feel, uncomfortable with this kind of, wording. In English, either you should say Dr. Ambedkar, since Ambedkar is a doctor. And those who are not a doctor, you can say Mr. Gandhi. But Gandhi wrote a letter to Ambedkar stating that Dr. Mr. Ambedkar, I would come to see you tonight at 8 p.m. Gandhi want to come to meet Ambedkar. If you can spare that time, I would gladly come over to your place if it is inconvenient for you to come. So Gandhi asking the Ambedkar that I would like to meet you. If it is inconvenient to you, so naturally what Ambedkar said, fine, no problem, I will come to you. I have no inconvenience to come to you, I will come to you. Ambedkar visited Gandhi. He visited Gandhi on 14th August 1931. There, in their conversation, it was Mumbai only. Ambedkar stayed in Mumbai. Gandhi, whenever Gandhi visit Mumbai, and you know very well, Birla family accommodate Gandhi in a very luxurious buildings. So the building name was Mani Bhavan. This building name was Mani Bhavan. Third floor Gandhi was staying. Means Gandhi was in the third floor. So Ambedkar went with his own people there, some 4 or 5 his own companions. Ambedkar visited there. So Ambedkar was told to go to third floor. So Ambedkar went to third floor. When Ambedkar went to third floor, Ambedkar and all his companions, bowed before the Gandhi. It's like, giving respect. Elderly man, Gandhi was elderly man. But Gandhi didn't look at Ambedkar. I will take a few minutes to discuss about Gandhi. I'll take a few minutes only. Our main issue is the Jews, not about Gandhi. But however, I want to, because if I give it just a statement, a fact that, Ambedkar said homeland, but you don't understand, what is the background behind. So Ambedkar went with his own companions and, he just bowed. But Gandhi didn't give, much importance. Gandhi gives importance only to Muslims and Europeans. If any Muslim representatives came to Gandhi, immediately he acknowledged them. Europeans come to the Gandhi to meet, immediately acknowledges. That also written in this book. I am not giving my opinion. I was not present at that time. I didn't even born. So I am giving, these are not my opinions. This is written in here. When Ambedkar and his companions went there, When they wish just like that, but saying like this, he didn't even look. He didn't even turn and looked at them. Then Ambedkar and his companions, they went and sat quietly on the blanket. Those days only blanket people sit, no? And Gandhi used to sit in a big, big, what is that? Some some pillows like that he used to. You must have seen many places like that, right? So that time Ambedkar was talking to some European man and few people and eating some fruits. Those things are here. I could read out, but if I read, no, you'll get a bore. So you can refer these things here to authenticates. So I'm just explaining to you. So he was eating some fruits. So very luxurious person Gandhi was that time, eating fruits, talking to the Europeans, such a big shot. Of course, he was a big leader, no doubt. But big leader backed by the big, business people. Like, what is that? Who is that big business people? Huh?
Birla.
Birla, yes, Birla. So Gandhi also belonged to Baniya community, Vaishya, and Birla also Vaishya, and Birla also from Gujarat. Gandhi was also from Gujarat. So there are many matching things are there. Ambedkar was not having fruits to eat. Whatever it may be, I'm just making a for later when I'm commenting. So they were sick. So Gandhi took his own time, then looked at Ambedkar. That was the first time Gandhi looked at Ambedkar. He never saw Ambedkar. That was first time. And it was happening after the first roundtable conference. Ambedkar went and attended roundtable conference in London, which Gandhi boycotted. Gandhi went for the second roundtable conference. So when Gandhi come to know about Ambedkar in the roundtable conference, he come to know that somebody called B.R. Ambedkar representing the Dalits. So then Gandhi thought that, who is this man? Gandhi thought that I am the leader of everyone in India. I am the leader of Hindus. I am the leader of Muslims. I am the leader of Dalits. I am the leader of everyone. Who is this Ambedkar claiming that he is the leader of Dalits? So he come to know that somebody called Ambedkar, very young fellow, he was arguing like anything and forcefully making arguments in the London first roundtable conference, and he was invited by the royal family for a dinner. So Gandhi was very curious. That's why Gandhi wrote a letter to Ambedkar. Either I want to meet you. If you are not, if it is not inconvenient, you could come to me. If it is not coming, you may visit. So Ambedkar visited. So that is the background. So don't think that Ambedkar rushed to meet Gandhi. It's not like that. This is the background. So that was the first time Gandhi looked at Ambedkar. And he thought that Ambedkar was a Brahmin. Gandhi never even dreamt in his even dreams also, never thought that a Dalit could be a leader of Dalit. And highly educated from Western universities, European universities, American universities. Gandhi never thought. So Gandhi told Ambedkar, tell me, what do you want to say? Then Ambedkar said, you only called me. Mahatma Ji, you only called me. You tell me. What about your views? Or you can ask me some questions. I could give answers. Then Gandhi well, doctor, what have you to say in the matter? And Ambedkar said, you call me to hear your views. Please tell me what you have to say. Or ask me some questions, I shall give answers. So Gandhi gave big statement, big paragraph. You see, we very important this thing. I understand that you have got some grievances against me and Congress. I may tell you that I have been thinking over the problem of untouchables ever since my school days. Ever since my school days, I was thinking about the untouchables. This is what Gandhi said. Ambedkar said, what was the reply? It is true, Mahatma Ji, that you started think about the problem of untouchables even before I was born. Because Gandhi said that I have been thinking over the problem of untouchables ever since my school days when you are not even born. Gandhi said to Ambedkar, When you are not even born, I was thinking about untouchables in my school days. So how do you say that I am not working for the untouchables? That was the question Gandhiji was asking to Ambedkar. Then Ambedkar said that it is true, Mahatma Ji, that you started to think about the problem of untouchables before I was born. All world, remember this line, because whenever you go and display your credit, your merit, your talent in front of the non-Dalits, they will use this same line. Hey, you are kid, you are young, even you are not born. Since then I am doing this thing. People say like that. You might have also experienced many times like this. You know what was Ambedkar answer? And this answer you should remember, because this is going to stay with you. And if you have children, you tell your children also, because this context you will be getting, you will be facing in your life anytime, guaranteed. So this answer you should keep in your mind. What answer Ambedkar gave when Gandhi said that you are not even born, since then I am doing this. Ambedkar said, all old and elderly persons always like to emphasize the point of age. That's it. Instead of appreciating that, Ambedkar, you are very young, you are very talented, you are very talented. I appreciate that you are doing good thing. I will also try to coordinate with you, cooperate with you, or help you. Instead of saying that, generally what people get jealous. Oh, this young, suppose in the university, you are a young scholar and you are doing better than any professor. He'll get jealous. Hey, you are a junior teacher. People say like that. If anybody says that, if anybody tells you that you are a junior, you simply tell that junior, senior with regard to age, not with regard to work. This is my words, not Ambedkar words. I am telling you. If anybody says that you are a junior, simply you tell them that junior, senior is to do with the age, not with work. That's what the meaning of what Ambedkar also referring, right? Now coming back to our, I have no homeland. So after talking all these things, suddenly Ambedkar said, with the emotional, face, Ambedkar said, Gandhiji, I have no homeland. It's a very historical statement. Even today, it is echoing in the ears of the Ambedkarites and Dalits. Whenever you face untouchability, whenever you face discrimination, either in your academic space or in your social space, you must remember these words of Ambedkar. I have no homeland. There Ambedkar connects to the problem of Jews. We are Indians because we born in India. But Ambedkar says, Gandhiji, I have no homeland. Suddenly Gandhi taken aback. Taken aback and cutting Ambedkar short, means stopping Ambedkar. You know what was Gandhi's reply? Gandhi said to Ambedkar, it is his reply, you have got a homeland. Still Gandhi was thinking, Ambedkar said Brahmin. Remember this one also. When Gandhi was replying that, Mr. Ambedkar, you have got a homeland, that time Gandhi was not knowing that Ambedkar was a Dalit. Gandhi was thinking that Ambedkar was a Brahmin. And what was Gandhi replying? You have got a homeland. And from the reports that have reached me of your work at the Round Table Conference, I know you are a patriot of sterling worth. Gandhi is acknowledging Ambedkar's work at the Round Table Conference and praising Ambedkar that you are a very patriotic person. You know what was Ambedkar's reply when Gandhi said that no, you have a homeland. Gandhi said to Ambedkar, you have a homeland. You have got a homeland. You know Ambedkar's reply. What was Ambedkar's reply? Ambedkar said, you say I have got a homeland. but I still repeat that I am without homeland. I am without it. I have no homeland. How can I call this land my own homeland and this religion my own, wherein we are treated worse than cats and dogs, wherein we cannot get water to drink? In this homeland, people worship cattle. People give respect to animals, but not human beings called Dalits. Within that context, Ambedkar said that how could I feel that I have a homeland when my people are not treated even as a cats and dogs, even below than that. Wherein we can't get water to drink. Here I want to recall one incident which recently happened in Uttar Pradesh. I could see many people from UP also. Recently, it happened in Jaunpur, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. It happened in Jaunpur, I think. One teacher, as a part of his official duty, he was taking a survey, family surveys. He went to a house where he was offered water and he had a water. But suddenly the person of that house, the owner of that house who offered water to the teacher, he realized that the teacher belonged to Dalit community. And suddenly the teacher started abusing the owner of the house started abusing the teacher. How dare you to drink water in my house? The teacher said, you only offered me water. That's why I drank water. No, even if I offered water, you should not drink. You should know your caste limits. You should tell me that what is your caste. He said that, the teacher said, you didn't ask me my caste. So what? You must know limits of your caste. How dare you to enter into my house? You first stand out of the house. Even if we offer you unknowingly water, you should say that, no, I am a lower caste, I should not drink from you. You should remember your caste. So what that owner of that house, who happened to be a Brahmin, teaching the Dalit teacher that humiliation should be acceptable norm, not a questionable culture. So the Dalit teacher should remember, since he is being born in a community where people are treated untouchables, he should understand that he should remember his position and he should not drink water. This has happened very much in 2026 in the month of February. And we are talking about Ambedkar in the year 1931. Ambedkar told Gandhi that, Mr. Gandhi, Mahatma Ji, I have no homeland because my people are not treated. My people are, how can I call this land my own homeland and this religion my own, wherein we are treated worse than the cats and dogs? Not even, forget about equal to the humans. Not even equal to the cats and dogs. We are treated worse than the cats and dogs. People give water to the dogs. People give water to the cats. But not to the us. This is what Ambedkar said when even Constitution of India was not written, when we didn't get the independence. That happened in the 1931. We cannot get water to drink. That's what Ambedkar said. That's why, how can we call this is homeland? Today we got Constitution of India. Today we are becoming the chief ministers. We are becoming the IAS officers. We are becoming the vice chancellors. We are becoming the professors. We are becoming the lawyers, engineers. But we are not getting the right to drink water culturally. Constitutionally, you have a right to drink water. Whole Mahat Satyagraha issue was that to drink water. But right to drink water, though legally you have a right, but culturally you don't have. In such a society, how could we say that this is our society? That's why Ambedkar felt that Dalit issue and the issue of the Jews is the same. Finding a homeland. Of course, Israelites, the Jews are trying to find a geographical homeland, whereas Dalits are trying to find a cultural homeland. A cultural homeland where Dalits are treated with dignity. And Dalits are trying to find a cultural homeland within Indian geography only. On the Indian territory only. Not as a separate country. In this background, he was talking about how Dalit issue is related to Jews. Dalit issue is not related to the blacks. Try to understand. There are many people discriminated in the world. It doesn't mean that Dalit issue is related to everyone. No. Dalit issue is not related to the blacks. Blacks were not trying to find homeland. Dalits were not trying to find a separate religion. I'm talking about, it's not about Dalits. I'm talking about blacks. Dalit issue is related only to the Jews. Dalit issue is not related to the blacks. Black issue is entirely different. Blacks are not trying to find separate homeland in America. And the blacks are not trying to find a separate religion in America. No. Christianity is very much offering them equality of all. It is the Dalits who are trying to find separate culture, separate cultural homeland within India. And blacks' basic problem is color, skin color. Whites discriminating the blacks, whereas Dalits have fair skinned as well as dark skinned. Here I have Poonam Chaudhary. She is very much fair skinned from Uttar Pradesh. Poonam, I can't see your head. Could you adjust your properly your camera? Yeah, I could see you now. Yeah. Now, Poonam Chaudhary is a fair skinned Dalit lady.
Yes, sir.
Any black could say that she's having the black and white skin problem, race problem. No. And there are very, dark skinned people. Look at Shashikant. He is from also Uttar Pradesh, from the same community. Both Poonam and Shashikant belong to same community, Chamar Dalits. Both of them are Chamar Dalits. And both of them are from UP only. One Chamar Dalit is fair, another Chamar Dalit is dark. Dark means not that black, but dark skin. That's why I say that dark skin. Not a black skin, but dark skin. If you go to the Chennai, Tamil Nadu, you will find a dark skinned people also. My father is very, very dark skinned. Is black only, black. My father is totally black. My mother is totally white. Means white one, black in the sense that fair skinned. My mother is purely fair skinned. My father is totally, purely black skinned, dark skinned. So there is no question of the fundamental issue of Dalits not matching with the blacks. One my friend, Mr. Suraj Engde, he's doing very good job from America, but he's trying to find some similarity between Dalits and blacks. Of course, any depressed community of any world have the similarities. Injustice, atrocities, discrimination. These are the similarities between Dalits and blacks, between Dalits and Jews, between Dalits and whoever may be, whichever community facing discrimination, injustice, religious persecution, any discrimination, any kind of discrimination, certainly Dalits are sharing same pain and agony with them. But it doesn't mean that fundamental question, the fundamental issue of Dalit is same with the others. No. So Dalit issue is somewhat similar to Jews. Of course, Jews are discriminated because of they are having their own cultural identity. Dalits are discriminated because Dalits not having cultural identity. It's a reverse. Jews are discriminated because Jews are having their own strong, visible cultural identity. Dalits are discriminated because they have no strong, visible cultural identity. They are trying to imitate Brahmins. That's why they are being discriminated. The first thing, Dalits should stop imitating Brahmins. Dalits should develop their own cultural foundations. Same on the lines of Jews. That's what my proposition. So Dalit issue basically is an issue of culture that relates to Jews. And Jews also trying to find cultural homeland in the Palestine, whereas Dalits are trying to find cultural homeland within India, not as a separate state. That's the only difference between Dalits and Jews of Israel. Got my point? Now, what exactly this article which Ambedkar wrote, Moses and his significance, talks about? I'll take a few minutes, just 2 minutes, to read out that article. Why I want to read out the article? This article is highly neglected, not referred by any scholar in general, highly neglected. Because once you are talking about Ambedkar and Jews, Dalits and Jews, you are elevating the level of Dalits to international. So not many people talk about the Jews. We always talk about Dalits with reference to Brahmins or Dalits with reference to at most Muslims as far as discrimination is concerned. But Ambedkar never ever talked in all his writings. Remember, Ambedkar never ever talked anywhere in his writings and speeches relating Dalit issue with the Muslims. Remember this. So for God's sake, Dalit scholars should not relate Dalit issue with the issue of Muslims. Again, I'm saying, relating Dalit issue as a discrimination, injustice, atrocities, that you can relate Dalit issue with any persecuted community. Persecuted community. If Muslims are persecuted, certainly you could relate Dalits with the Muslims. If if Hindus are persecuted, in Bangladesh, then you also relate the Dalit issue with the Hindus of Bangladesh. But that doesn't make that Dalit core issue is Muslim issue. That doesn't make that Dalit core issue is Hindus issue of the Bangladesh or black issue of the America. So in general, all persecuted people having similarities. But when it comes to specific, core, fundamental, Dalits are nothing to do with the Muslim issue. Dalits are nothing to do with the Hindu issue of Bangladesh. Dalits are nothing to do with the blacks of America. Dalits, if at all, have any similarity, that is only with the Jews of Israel. That is the spirit of Ambedkar views on Jews. So Moses took Jews out of the Egypt. Egyptian Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, pharaohs under the Pharaoh rule, Jews were made slaves. Jews were subjugated, persecuted. They were not having any homeland. That they became a second-class citizens in the Egypt. Moses took them out of the Egypt, trying to give them the land, homeland to the Jews, trying to give them God, trying to give them religion, trying to give them culture. So Moses wants to give everything to the Jews, leading them. You know what Jews gave to Moses? Humiliation. They questioned every time the authority of the Moses, the leadership of the Moses. The same thing happened with Ambedkar. Ambedkar trying to give Dalits their own cultural identity, a dignified identity. Ambedkar trying to bring Dalits out of the cultural slavery. Ambedkar trying to give them social identity, institutional rights, legal rights, civil rights. But what Dalits did to Ambedkar when Ambedkar was alive? Of course, many with Ambedkar, same as many with Moses. But many Dalits also questioned Ambedkar. You know who defeated Ambedkar? When Ambedkar contested election in Maharashtra, it was Dalits. Mr. Akash is from Nagpur only. He knows very well. Could you tell Akash where he contested Ambedkar nearby Nagpur?
Bhandara, sir.
Bandara. Bandara was a reserved constituency. Ambedkar contested there. Who defeated him?
Borkar, sir.
Borkar, one Mr. Borkar from Dalit community, same Mahar community. He was a Congress candidate. He defeated Ambedkar. Forget about that Borkar contesting elections against Ambedkar. But it was being a scheduled caste community constituency. The majority voters were scheduled caste. And majority scheduled caste voted against Ambedkar. So what Jews did to Moses, same thing in different context, Dalits did to Ambedkar. What it tells us? It tells us that any work for the community is a selfless work and thankless work. Remember these two things. You have to sacrifice everything for the community, but you should not expect even thanks from the community. Remember this. Or you remember? So Ambedkar says it is a thankless job for working for the community. Look at the Kanshiram, Manivar Kanshiram. Manivar Kanshiram did a lot to the community. But there are many people who criticize the Manivar Kanshiram. Look at the Bahanji, Mayawati. She did a lot to the community. Today, many people criticize her. Of course, we could have a difference of opinion with our leaders. But after all, they are our own people. They sacrifice their lives to our community. So these are all like Moses only. Ambedkar, Kanshiram, Mayawati, all of them are trying to bring us out of the cultural slavery, social slavery. Anyhow, coming back to Ambedkar. So Ambedkar writes that the story of the Jews told in the Old Testament is a moving tale. It has a few parallels. It is told in a simple but thrilling language. The pathos inherent in the subjugation and ultimate emancipation of the Jews cannot but affect the emotions of those who are as depressed as the Jews were in Egypt in the days of Pharaoh. But the heart of everyone who is working for emancipation of a depressed people is bound to go to Moses, the man who brought about the emancipation of the Jews. What did Moses not do for the Jews? He led them out of Egypt, out of bondage. He laid the foundation for their religion by bringing the 10 commandments from Mount Sinai. He gave them laws for social, civil, and religious purpose and instructions for building the tabernacle. What did Moses not suffer at the hands of the followers? When the children of Israel left Egypt and were pursued and attacked by the army of the pharaohs, they were sore and said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die? It has been better for us to serve the Egyptians than what we should die in wilderness. Do you understand what that means? Ambedkar was quoting from the Bible, from the chapter Genesis. See, when the Moses took the Jews out of the Egypt, out of the slavery of the pharaohs, out of the slavery imposed by the Egyptian people, it means they have got emancipation. They got liberated, the Jews. So they should celebrate. But they have to walk for miles and miles to reach the promised land given by the God. So Moses was taking, it's a journey. See, in the journey, what happened? You have to face the problems. In the slavery, what happened? Though you are discriminated, you are suppressed, you are depressed, still they don't kill you. They keep you alive because they want slaves. They want workers. They want cheap labor. So Dalits are discriminated, persecuted. But Dalits are not generally being killed. Why? Because they want cheap labor to work in their factories. They want cheap labor to work in their homes. They want cheap labor to work in their fields, to clean their roads. Same thing happened with the Jews. So Moses took them out of that land, from that slavery. What Ambedkar was trying to take us out of that cultural slavery, so social slavery. The difference is Moses took the Jews out of the Egypt, the territorial boundaries, whereas Ambedkar is trying to take us within the boundary of the India only, but take us out of the cultural slavery boundaries. But what was the response of the Jews towards Moses? Oh, Moses, you bought us unnecessarily from the Egypt. Now these are all forest area. Oh, no, it was not even forest. It's a desert. It was a desert area. We are not getting the water. It is better to be slave in the Egypt, at least where we get a water, at least where we get a food. Though we were slaves there, at least we have some settled life. You look, this is a very important thing you must understand. Many people don't fight against injustice. You know why? They're happy with the stable life. Don't think even the slave people have happiness. Why? They're happy with whatever given to them. Suppose a dog is chained, but you are feeding the dog every time with the 2 rotis timely. Dog is happy. If you are unchained the dog, it has to find its own food. So when dog finds its own food, it can get biryani. Suppose dog is going to a biryani center. One Dalit Hyderabad biryani center. One dog came there. Then what you do? You will feed the dog with some biryani. But dog has to find Dalit biryani center. Then only it will get the biryani. But dog doesn't want to find any biryani center. Because to find a biryani center, it has to walk many kilometers. It has to search many places. People stone it. It has to run. It might be not having the water. Are you trying to understand what I'm trying to say? So to get the biryani, Dalit biryani center to have a biryani, it has to go through so much of pains. So what dog decides? No, I don't want freedom. I don't want, forget about biryani. At least I'm getting 2 roti, every time. Then he will go to the owner. Sir, you tie around my neck with the chains. I'm happy to have as a slave in your home. Give me 2 roti. So there are 2 kinds of people here. Be it a Jews, be it a Dalits. They are happy with their slavery. That's what Jews were telling to Moses. Why, Mr. Moses, why you have brought us outside? We are happy to be there. Unnecessarily you brought out. We are dying here without water, without food. It's better to be in Egypt. Being a slave also, at least we get our food and water. So they were accusing Moses, who emancipated them, who gave the liberation at the cost of his own life. Had Pharaoh caught Moses, he would have killed Moses. With the God's grace, they crossed over the river, Red Sea. They came out of the Egypt. But what was the reaction of the Jews? That's what Ambedkar explaining. The marching Israel came to Elim. So when on the way, one place called Elim, they have reached. The marching Israel means Jews. That time these were called as Jews, Israelites, Israel. The marching Israel came to Elim and camped there, a place called Elim. There was not sufficient water for them all. There was no sufficient water. They all shouted, look, don't see, it is not so easy to become a leader of a depressed people. It is not so easy. If you are trying to become a leader of Dalits or Adivasi or Shudras, it's not so easy. Even if you give everything, even if your shirt, pant, my coat, even if I give you everything, hey, you are a leader. You are a social worker. You are taking care of the community. Give more, give more. Dil mange more. Give more. That is what depressed people expect. Any community. So it was not so easy for Ambedkar to lead Dalits. It was not so easy for Moses to lead Jews. Jews were shouting at Moses. Instead of being happy, Moses, fine, thank you very much. Under the guidance of God, you have brought out of the slavery. Now we are going to have golden days. Only thing, few days we have to work hard. We have to face all difficulties in the desert. But finally, we will be having our own homeland in Canaan, where God promised to give us homeland. And we will be having the good future. We will be having the bright future for our children, our future generations. They were not thinking like that. They were not thinking like that. They were accusing the Moses. What the hell you brought out of this? You put us in the desert. They all shouted, give us water. Give us water. Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with a thirst? They were ready. They were saying that you, Moses, you brought us out of the Egypt and making us to die in the desert. There is no water, no food. You are trying to kill our children, our cattle and us. What are you doing? Why? What the hell? Why you have unnecessarily brought us? Slavery is better than the pain. Dalit also thinking, why should I fight for my community? Why should I fight for even my children? Every Dalit middle class person knows that if he fight against the justice, the whole community, including his own children, will get better future. But he will not fight. Because he is happy with the stability of the slavery. Slavery gives the stability. Safe zone. If reservation is gone, then he is keep looking only. No, my children's fine. My children, at least I have earned 1 crore rupees. I invested in the real estate. That will be useful for my children. That's enough. Why should I fight for the community? This foolish person doesn't know that even if you invest 1 crore, there is no guarantee that your children will be having a dignified life. Our fight is not just for the bread alone, not for the money only, for dignity also. Coming back. Now, this Jews were complaining against the Moses. They were ready to stone. They were ready to stone him because there was no water. Without water, one can't survive. Without water, one can't survive. So Jews were ready to stone. They want to kill Moses. Can you imagine? For so many centuries, Jews were slaves in the Egypt, and Moses took them out. It was a historical liberation. But Jews want to stone. They want to kill Moses. What are you understanding? This is what a difficult post. If any post, if you want to have, all posts are easier. Even being a prime minister also might be easier. But to become a leader of a depressed community, it's a very, very difficult, because when you give 10 rupees, they will expect from you 100 rupees. When you give 100 rupees, they will expect from you 1000 rupees. And there is no limit for the aspirations for the other depressed people. Why? Because for the first time they are seeing the freedom. For the first time they are seeing the liberation. They want more. Otherwise, they want to go back to the slavery. There are many Dalits, they are ready to go back to slavery. And they are happy to be with the slavery. Instead of fighting for the whole biryani, they are happy with the bone. They are happy with the bones. Whole biryani, other people are eating. They throw one bone. That's happy, like a dogs. Some dogs also like that. I'm not saying that all Dalits are like that. There are some Dalits, those who don't have self-respect. I respect my Dalit community. My Dalits are not like that. I'm sure that 99.99% Dalits have self-respect. But in every community, there are like some people, slaves, at least 0.1%. So what I'm trying to say that now Ambedkar writes, Moses went, so another occasion, these are 3 occasions. Look, Ambedkar was, there are many chapters in the Genesis. He was taking paragraphs between 3 chapters. In between, so much of story is there. Ambedkar was taking those paragraphs only where people questioned the Moses leadership. Once what happened, sorry, not about Ambedkar, I'm talking about Moses. Ambedkar took the 3 chapters from the Genesis. So once what happened, Moses went to Mount Sinai. People are questioning Moses every time. You are dying us, you are killing us, you are not giving us water. So Moses thought that he wants to talk to God. So he gave a message, he got a message from the God in his dream that you should come to the Mount Sinai, where you will get a God's direction. He went to Mount Sinai. Moses went up to Mount Sinai and delayed to come down. Moses took many days to come down. He was there in the Mount Sinai only. And all the people were in the place called Elim, or nearby the Mount Sinai, down of the mountain. Since Moses, there was a lot of, Moses went there for many days back. He was not coming down. You know what happened? What was the thinking about the people, Jews, that time? Immediately, the Jews went to Aaron and said unto him. Aaron was a brother of Moses. So all the Jews went to Aaron and said to him, make for us gods. Moses went to Mount Sinai to talk to God, to bring the God direction to the Jews. But they were very impatient, Jewish people. The Jewish people are very impatient. Oh, we don't know what happened to Moses, whether Moses is going to come back or not, we don't know. We don't know why he brought us. He's, forget about Moses. Aaron, you give us God. So they went to immediately the Jews went to Aaron and said unto him, make for us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we know not what has become of him. This is the leader gets respect from the people whom he is leading. So if you want to become a leader of Dalits in your university, if you want to become a leader of Dalits in your locality, you take inspiration. Ambedkar took inspiration from Moses. That's why Ambedkar didn't expect any, even thanks also from Dalits. He kept on doing his work. And Moses never got angry with his own people. He understood. He worked selflessly for his people, though his people want to kill him. Because Moses was not giving them proper life. Being a leader. If Jews were not getting water, even Moses was also not getting water. It was not that Moses was sitting in the air-conditioned room having all luxury facilities. He was also with them only in the desert. Even then they want to kill him because he brought them out of the slavery and to such a place where they were not getting water. Why I'm repeating again and again, psychology. You understand the social psychology of the people, of the followers. Under such a circumstances, a leader has to work. And Ambedkar worked. So Ambedkar was writing again. Ambedkar is writing about Moses. Look, even his leadership was challenged. The Old Testament records that. One more challenge, you see. There is a characters called Miriam and Aaron. Aaron was Moses' brother and Miriam was Moses' sister. Own brothers and sister, Miriam and Aaron, questioning. The Old Testament records that Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married. And Moses did marry a Jewish woman. Moses married an Ethiopian woman. Ethiopia is in... where is Ethiopia? It's in the Africa. I think...
Yes, sir, Africa.
Yeah. So Ethiopian woman, most probably black woman. See, remember, Jews doesn't mean that all Jews are white, all Jews are fair. It's not like that. There are dark, black, like same Dalits. That's what, again, one more similarity between Dalits and Jews. Within the Dalit community, we have a fair-skinned Dalits and dark-skinned Dalits. Same way, within the Jews race also, you have fair-skinned Jews and dark-skinned Jews. So Moses married a Ethiopian woman, and his sister Miriam and Aaron got angry. Angry means not for marrying. They say that you didn't even marry a Jews whom God chosen the Jewish community, but your wife is not even a Jew. Then why the God is talking only to you? Why God called you only the mountain Sinai to talk to you? Why can't we? Look, in a difficult situation, all your faults will become a serious issues. Till that time, Miriam was happy with his brother Moses. Aaron was happy. Jewish people are all happy. But when they are in difficult, they were questioning the Moses leadership. Not only that, they were questioning his personal life also. When Karunyakara was working for the people, everything's fine. When Karunyakara giving them, everything fine. When Karunyakara unable to give them, then they started question the leadership of Karunyakara, the personal life of the Karunyakara. Why I'm giving my example to make it a present context. It happened with Moses, it happened with Ambedkar, it happened with me and with you, with everyone. In future also it's going to happen. Even then, if community has to become strong, community has to live dignified, leadership has to sacrifice their own leadership, personal life, social life, everything, without expecting even thanks from his own people. So the Old Testament records that Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married, and they said, had the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Had he not spoken also by us? Yet Moses bore their calumny, their abuse, tolerated their impatience, and served them with the fullness of his heart. Moses, they abused the Moses. Even then, with the patience, Moses served his community. He didn't take any revenge against them. He didn't discard them. He always stood with his community. As the Old Testament truly says, there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Moses was the only person among the Jews Lord talked face to face. Even then, by knowing that also, Jews were questioning the Moses leadership. So Ambedkar is quoting the Bible. There arose not a prophet since in Israel unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Moses was not merely a great leader of the Jews. He is a leader whose birth any downtrodden community may pray for. Remember these words. Moses was not merely a great leader of the Jews. He is a leader whose birth any downtrodden community may pray for. Means any downtrodden community like Dalits, Dalits should also pray for such a leader to born in their own community. That's the meaning of this word. Ambedkar is quoting. You understand? All of you are understanding? Yes. So that much of importance Moses has in the Dalit cultural narrative. Unfortunately, our scholars, our intellectuals never refer about Moses. Now Ambedkar writes, whatever interest others may have felt in the story of the Exodus and the leadership of Moses, they have been to me a source of perennial inspiration and hope. This whole Moses story, not in the Genesis, it's in the Exodus, the chapter Exodus. So Ambedkar is writing, the leadership of Moses have been to me a source of perennial inspiration and hope. Perennial inspiration. Perennial means continuous, always. Perennial inspiration and hope. Ambedkar is clearly writing here. The leadership of Moses have been to me a source of perennial inspiration and hope. These are the golden words every Dalit should remember. And Ambedkar also writes, I believe that just as there was a land of promise for the Jews, so the Dalits must be destined to have their land of promise. I trust that just as the Jews reached their land of promise, so will be the depressed classes in the end reach their own land of promise. You understood what I said? Yeah. The last paragraph. The last paragraph, Ambedkar says, I see in the present day condition of the Dalits of India. Yeah, look, it's very important. I'm not saying that Dalit issue is a parallel to Jewish issue. It's Ambedkar himself saying, I see in the present day condition of Dalits of India, he's writing Dalits of India. I see in the present day condition of the Dalits of India a parallel to the Jews in their captivity in Egypt. In Moses, I see a leader whose infinite love for his people has given undaunted courage to face hardships and bear calumny. Same hardships, same calumny, same difficulties, same opposition, same thing I am facing, taking the inspiration from Moses. This is what Ambedkar says. I confess that, Ambedkar writing, not me, Ambedkar stating, I confess that if anything sustains in me, in my efforts to emancipate the Dalit classes, it is the story of Moses undertaking the thankless but noble task of leading Jews out of their captivity. This is the article written by Moses and his significance by Ambedkar. So much inspiring story by Ambedkar taking inspiration from Moses. And how Jews are feeling about Ambedkar. This is Ambedkar feeling about Jews. How Jews are feeling about Ambedkar. So Jews are commenting on the Ambedkar's position on the views on the Jews, stating that it is written in the news from Israel. It is stating that it is only natural that Jewish people have always looked at Ambedkar and his life's work with absolute admiration. See, many places I use the term Dalits. Ambedkar used in original text, Ambedkar used the term depressed classes. To make it more understanding, I use the Dalit word in the place of depressed classes. Anyhow, now, how Jews are feeling about Ambedkar. It is only natural that the Jewish people have always looked at Dr. Ambedkar and his life's work with absolute admiration. Ambedkar is getting admiration from the Moses and Jewish people, and Jews are getting admiration from the Ambedkar. Such a fantastic commonality in the history of struggle between the Dalit history and the history of Jews. And Jews are writing here, that news from Israel is writing here, his struggle, Ambedkar's struggle, his struggle for the weakest sector of society has found an echo in the hearts of those who for many hundreds of years since their expulsion from their promised land, Israel, were suffering from discrimination and persecution just because of being different from the majority around. We in Israel are till today proud of Dr. Ambedkar's support. Israel people are writing. We in Israel are till today proud of Dr. Ambedkar's support in our struggle for rebuilding our national home in Israel. What else you want? This is what whole the crux of the chapter Ambedkar, the chapter Dr. Ambedkar, the Jewish people. So this is what thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for connecting us with Israeli people and also let us to know the details of Dr. Ambedkar's idea to Israel and Moses, and a most important, the impact of Dr. Ambedkar on international platform of social justice. Thank you. Now I request those who want to ask a question, please go ahead and please ask a question. This forum is open for question answer session. So someone raised their hand, might be Dr. Kiran Kumbre ma'am, please go ahead.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible ma'am, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Your lecture is very, very excellent, sir. When you start lecture, first sentence is Dalit culture is universal culture. Could you explain, sir? Any comment on this?
Today topic is Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. When you relate when you find a commonality between Ambedkar and Jews people, it means that Ambedkar place along with the Jews. That itself shows that it's internationalized. When you relate Ambedkar with the Jews, you are internationalizing the relation between Ambedkar and Jews. When we are talking about the Ambedkar and Moses, how Moses worked for the Jews, how Ambedkar worked for the Dalits, how the Jews are feeling about Ambedkar. So you are internationalizing. When the things become internationalized, it is a universal. It has no restrictions of boundaries geographically. It has no political boundaries. It has no geographical territory or territorial boundaries. So when you are transcend, once your issue is transcended, once your culture is transcended, once your thought is transcended, territorial boundaries, political boundaries, geographical borders, and it becomes international. Once it is international, it is universal. It is universal because same history is shared by, there is a commonality between history of Dalits and history of Jews. There's a commonality. And there is a commonality in many senses. Not only Ambedkar to the Dalits and Moses to the Jews. Not only Ambedkar taking inspiration from the Moses. Not only Jews taking the modern Jews are taking the inspiration from Ambedkar. The very word Dalit is a Hebrew word. It's not at all a Sanskrit word. It is a misnomer. It is a false propaganda. No Sanskrit text ever used that word Dalit. The very word Dalit has an origin in Hebrew. And Hebrew is the language of Jews. Hebrew is the national language of Israel. So the very identity of Dalit community is a Hebrew identity. Dalit is not at all a Sanskrit word. I never found, nowhere I found in any Sanskrit book or Sanskrit dictionary the word Dalit. Please refer my book, The History of Dalit Identity. Generally, people write history of community, history of a country. I have written history about the very identity, because the whole problem of Dalits is identity. Any identity you take it, that is branded as a cumulative meaning, with a cumulative meaning. Any identity in the history, any identity you claim, that is branded with a humiliating meaning. Even Dalit identity also branded with a humiliative meaning. People claim that it's a Sanskrit word. In the Sanskrit, it's a broken, it's a low, it is that, it is this, all negative narration. But the fact is that the historical truth is that Dalit is a Hebrew word. You asked me that why a Dalit culture is a universal. Why Dalit should celebrate the Valentine's Day? Because Valentine's Day is a universal festival. It is so because Dalits, the very identity of Dalit is a universal identity. So Dalits needs to reconstruct their universal culture. As a part of reconstructing the Dalit culture, since a Dalit, the very identity, Dalit identity is a Hebrew word, it's a universal international, since it's an international word, it is crossing the boundary of India, associating with the Hebrews, Jews, internationalizing. Once it is internationalized, it's a universal. Hence, Dalit, when we are doing the reconstruction of Dalit culture, it has to be a universal culture. That in that context, I said that since Dalit identity is the universal, Dalit culture needs to be universal. And since Dalit culture needs to be universal, we need to celebrate the universal culture, universal festivals. And Valentine's Day is a universal festival. Everywhere it is being celebrated. And moreover, Valentine's Day is a festival of love. Since it's a festival of love, even non-Dalits also celebrate Valentine's Day. But my point is, not because if it is a festival of love, we have to celebrate. Of course, we have to celebrate since it is a festival of love. But my point is that Dalits needs to celebrate Valentine's Day because it is a universal cultural festival, and Dalit's culture is universal culture because Dalit identity, the foundation of Dalit identity is a universal. It's a Hebrew identity. That's what my point.
Okay, now Rakesh was here. Rakesh, please ask the question.
Jai Bhim, sir. Sir, why did Gandhi call the scheduled caste of Harijan?
Please, could you pardon me? Repeat again.
Why did Gandhi call the scheduled caste of Harijan?
Scheduled caste of freedom.
Of scheduled caste of Harijan.
Please ask the question.
The word Harijan is not of Gandhi. Some Narsi Mehta, I don't exactly remember. Some Mehta, maybe Narsi Mehta or something. Mehta from Gujarat. Some saint, he created the word Harijan with reference to the people who are anada, means orphans, those who don't have parents. So he called them Harijan. If I am not wrong, maybe some Mehta, some I don't remember exactly. It's some Gujarati saint who used that word. Some Gujarati writer, he used that word Harijan with reference to orphans. Those who don't have parents, they are the children of God. Gandhi picked that word Harijan, and he gave that identity to Shulkas. Gandhi was of the opinion that since Shulkas were not accepted by the society, his society, since Shedulkas were not accepted by the Gandhi's caste Hindu society, so Gandhi thought that Shedulkas were Harijan, the children of Hari. Hari is the name of Vishnu, Avatara, god of one of the gods of Hinduism. So Gandhi said Harijan. Gandhi basically belonged to Vaishnava Hindu tradition. He was not a Shaivite. He was not a Shiva worshipper. He was a worshipper of Vishnu. That's why he wrote a song also, Vaishnava Janato. He didn't write to Shaiva Janato. Vaishnava Janato. Vaishnava Janata means the people of Vishnu. So for Gandhi, all the people are people of Vishnu, not Shiva. Gandhi belonged to Vaishnava cult. So Hari is another name of Vishnu. That's why he said Harijan. Most probably, if Gandhi is a Vaishnava, Shaivite, so you might have written, had Gandhi was a Shiva worshipper or Shiva devotee, or he was a Shaivite Hindu, Gandhi might have written a song, Shaiva Janato. I don't think that song also Gandhi wrote. That was also written by the same saint, that Vaishnava Janato saint. The same saint who used the term Harijan. These are all Vishnu worshippers, the Vaishnavites. So had Gandhi is a Shaivite, he might have said that instead of Harijan, he might have said Shivajan. He might have called scheduled caste Shivajan. Since Gandhi is a Shaivite Vishnu, Vaishnava Hindu, he called Harijan, picking that name from that a saint poet of Gujarat. Go and find out the exact name of that saint poet. That's the one thing. But however, Ambedkar felt it is a humiliation. Ambedkar felt it's a humiliation. If scheduled castes are children of God, then our other people are children of the non-scheduled castes are children of devil. That was the question. Generally, scheduled caste leaders poses to the people who use the term Harijan. Therefore, today, Harijan word is discarded. Nobody used the Harijan word. I think even officially also there is a ban on that word, Harijan. Nobody use it. Right? Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Now I request Dr. Poonam, Madam, to ask the question.
Good evening to all. Good evening, sir. I have only one question. As Dr. Ambedkar gave a Dalitism as a concept to us, as we are right now we are reading it and we are just going through all his ideologies. Is there any Zionism or a Yehudi Rashtravad gave by him? Is there anything like we can compare it with the Jews we are talking about, right? So today, sir, Ambedkar on Jews. Has he ever commented on their ism also? Like he talked so much about Dalits, and we are just following him that it is a ism. Okay. After 10 decades, 12 decades, 20 decades, 30 decades, after 50 decades, we are really worshipping him and we are following it as a ism. We Dalits are. So is there any Zionism also he talked about? Matlab, it is only for my query, sir. Just wanted to know.
Thank you for asking this wonderful question.
Thank you, sir.
See, your question has a relation with the present day circumstances of Jewish history, the contemporary history. Where,
Yes. It is.
I understood what you want to say, what you want to ask actually. Mm. Generally, this no, the term is used for working, something called against the Jews, against Israelis. That is called anti-Semitism. 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 If you are abusing the Jews, it's called anti-Semitism. So it's a kind of racism. My point is also same. Since Dalits are like Jews, even humiliating the Dalits should be called anti-Semitism. As far as injustice concerned, because when you are locating yourself in the universal culture, so your humiliation, your disgrace, your condemnation, your abuse, the abuses which is faced by you, everything become internationalized. So you have to locate everything, not only the pride, even the pain you have to locate in the international context. When there was a Durban conference in South Africa, some 20 years back, there was a position taken by, official position by not only government of India and many non-Dalit scholars. Since casteism is not a racism, we can't question the caste, we can't take the issue of the caste to the international level. That's what the position taken by. But Ambedkar wrote very clearly here in his the same book, volume 17, part 1. Ambedkar said, Ambedkar was talking about taking the issue of the Dalits to scheduled caste case to be presented before the UNO, United Nations of Organization, page number 358, chapter number 37, volume number 17, part 1, chapter number 37. Ambedkar wrote very clearly here, scheduled caste case to be presented before the UNO. See, Dalits are not asking any separate country. We are proud of being Indians. We are part of Indian history and culture. And after the independence, when the constitution came to be executed, we are proud constitutionalists. Our only thing is that our issue of caste is similar to the issue of race. Racism doesn't mean only black versus whites or whites versus black. Issue of racism is to do with caste also. Anyhow, I am trying to theorize. I am trying to bring a new theory called pure Dalit theory. I am trying to construct a new theory called pure Dalit theory. Once it is being constructed, I will discuss about that theory. So in the pure Dalit theory, I am talking more about this. The point is here, Dalit issue is very much same as issue of the race. Jews issue also not like a white and black discrimination. So can we say that issue of the Jews is not a racism? No. Issue of the Jews, problem of the Jews also at international level is a racism only. Jews are facing the racism. So the definition of racism, we should not look only in the context of America. It should be looked in the context of not only America, in the context of Jews as well as in the context of Dalits. Now coming back to your point, I said that Dalit abuse, discrimination, humiliation is the same as anti-Semitism. Though we are culturally, we don't have at present relation to the Semitism like Jews, but our identity is Dalit identity is a Hebrew identity, and Hebrew is a language of Semite people. My argument in my I'm going to bring a Dalit history book, Dalit history book, in which my argument is that Dalits are having Semitic roots. We are Semites. Racially, we are Semitic people, same as Jews. So any discrimination against the Dalits is a anti-Semitism. That's what my argument. The question which you asked that there is a word I am unable to immediately call. This mostly Muslims use this word against the Jews. Could you help me to find this thing, which exactly what you were trying to ask? Anything, any ideology called? You said ideology, that ideology has some name. It's not a Judaism. Judaism is their religion name. Judaism, Yehudism, which you are talking, is their religion. But they are accused. Jews are accused of the discrimination which Muslims are facing from the Jews is termed some term they use it. Could anybody help me? It's a common term. Suddenly, if I am unable to recall, it's there in my mouth but unable to come out. If anybody could help me that.
Those who are not following the Islam, they call them a kafir.
No. I'm not talking about
like that.
Muslims.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm talking about against the Jews. Against the Jews, there is a term is used against the Jews, stating that Jews commit whatever the Jews are committing atrocities against the Muslims. That is termed. That is one term is used for that. Mostly by the Muslims. Okay, find out that. So that is called the ism in negative sense. Ambedkar didn't suggest any ism. Ambedkar didn't suggest any ism for the Jews as well as for the Dalits also. Ambedkar opposed calling his ideas, branding his ideas, his opinions, his views, his thoughts as Ambedkarism. So Ambedkar is never for making any ism. Nor Ambedkar asked his people to worship him. Remember, Jews don't worship Moses. Jews respect Moses, a leader who brought them out of slavery. Dalits also don't worship Ambedkar. Dalits don't worship Ambedkar and should not worship Ambedkar. Dalits respect Ambedkar for bringing them out of social slavery, cultural slavery, giving them civil rights, constitutional rights. So since there is no worship, Dalits don't worship Ambedkar, Jews don't worship Moses. And there is no certain called ideology that we should become a fundamentalist. So that's what I could give the answer to you. I hope that I have given satisfactory answer. Otherwise, in some other lecture, we could have more discussion on it.
Okay. And there is the last question, and this will be the last question. Mr. Sudhir want to ask a question. Mr. Sudhir, go ahead.
Yes.
This will be the last question.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Shalom, Jai Bhim. Hello.
No, good evening, Shalom Jai Bhim. Good evening, Shalom Jai Bhim.
Sir, you just gave the reference of Dr. Suraj Yengde and how he's trying to connect the problems of Dalits with the black people or the white, America and the rest of the globe also. There was a kind of question that Dr. Suraj Yengde is trying to visit the globe and trying to find out the connections the as far as the persecutions and the slavery and the atrocities. So now maybe now Jews nowadays are in a very strong position than than the blacks. So maybe this be the reason that he's not able to connect the problems of the Dalits with the problems of the Jews. This is my question, sir.
Yeah, good question. Dalit issue, I am finding commonality with the Jews. Ambedkar also found the commonality with the Jews. Nowhere Ambedkar found the commonality with the blacks. Even if he found, if even Ambedkar found it, or I find, or even Suraj Hegde find it, it is only on the basis of economic discrimination. Discrimination on the basis of finding opportunity, lack of opportunities for economic development. There is no cultural discrimination to blacks. Culturally, blacks are highly powerful in USA. What blacks were not having that economic opportunities. Even then, there were many white people who gave their lives. Abraham Lincoln gave his life for giving the rights to blacks. There is a black banks. They have their own banks. Bank of Black Americans. Black movies are there. Black artists are there. Black president of America was there. Barack Obama. Black dancer Michael Jackson. So black community produced its own wealth, its own culture. Its own leadership, its own identity. Their very identity is their skin. Black, no need to tell that he is a black. Whereas Jew has to construct his identity. Unless Jews tell he's a Jew, unless Dalit tells he's a Jew, he's a Dalit. So it is an option for the Jews and Dalits to hide their identity. That's why many Jews also hide their identity, sometimes to survive. Many Dalits hide their identity, sometimes to survive. Since Jews has a great history, they take pride in being a Jews. Since Dalits unable to construct their own history, even today we don't have a single text called Dalit history, which I am trying to write. Being a Dalit as well as being a historian. Because of that reason, we don't take pride in our own identity. Now, as far as Suraj Hegde is concerned, yes, he is finding the similarity of deprivation of the opportunities, deprivation of the civil rights. Blacks led a civil rights movement in America. Suraj Hegde wants to connect deprivation of the civil rights of the Dalits with civil rights of the blacks. Even today, majority of the American blacks think that, even American whites think that Gandhi is a black. Just because of Gandhi is a dark-skinned man. Many Americans fail to understand that what all about caste system. So how do you say that our fundamental issue is related to the blacks? Fundamental basis of discrimination is entirely different from Dalits and blacks. As far as discrimination is concerned, with regard to civil rights, opportunities in economic opportunities, yes, there is a relation between the Dalits and blacks. But that is the same case with the deprived sections of many people in many countries. Tamils in Sri Lanka, they fight for their rights. They are the minority, Sri Lankans are the majority. Hindus in Pakistan, Hindus in Bangladesh. So that problem is similar with the Hindus in Bangladesh, Hindus in Pakistan, because they are minority. Same is the case with the Muslims in India. Same is the case. But Muslims also, rich people, wealthy people are there, elite people are there within India. Within Pakistan, Hindu elites are there. Hindu ministers are there. In Bangladesh also there. Tamil leaders are there in Sri Lanka. So every community, whether it's a depressed community, marginalized community or not, there are both faces we have. Poor people as well as elite people. So black elites are there in America. Black elitism is there in America. Not every black is a poor. Not every black is a deprived. But basically, whether it's an elite or deprived or poor, black has a basic fundamental issue before them is because their skin is black, they are discriminated. But Dalit skin is a black. Dalit is not discriminated. Are we discriminating the people from Dalits from South India just because of their not fair skinned? Just now I said no. I'm giving I am a social scientist. I always try to find examples from among the audience. I'm giving Shashikant and Poonam both belong to same Chamar Dalit community. Same place. Geographically, they belong to same locality, Uttar Pradesh. But one is fair skinned, other one is a dark skinned. My case, my mother is a fair skinned, and my father is a dark skinned, and I am in between. I'm in between. So, Dalit problem is not a black problem as far as fundamental problem is concerned. So we have to build our identity, our relation, our cultural, our struggle based on the fundamental identities, not the peripheral. Yes, Jews are very powerful, but look at their history. They became powerful not because of anybody's help. They did their own self-help. Don't you think that Dalit community should take up inspiration from Jews community having their own self-help? Don't we think that we should have our own Dalit banks of India? Even Africans, even blacks in America have their own banks. Why can't we have our own Dalit banks? Why can't the Dalit community become a trading community, a business community? Why can't we have Dalit hotels? Why can't we have Dalit restaurants? I said no, recently on Jaunpur, what happened? Even if he's a teacher is the one who gives the knowledge, who produces the knowledge, high status. Even in Hindu mythology, teacher has a high status. But if the teacher should be only Brahmin, that's why the teacher is not getting the water to drink. If that is the case, why can't we have our own restaurants, hotels? Because even if becoming a millionaire, you don't get water. Suppose you are a billionaire having crores of rupees. Suddenly your car, you are going on the highway. Suddenly a nearby one place, your car got broken down. Then what you do? You are very thirsty. You want to drink water. You go to some village and ask for the water. And that person give you water because you want the food. you drank water. Then he asked you that, what is your caste? You will tell that you are a Dalit. Then she started abusing you. Even though you are a powerful person, you are a billionaire, you will get abused because you drank his water. So how to normalize? They normalized it by doing this. But how do we how do we re-normalize? In the positively normalize what? The culture of accepting Dalit water. How? We should start our own restaurants. Of course, in the beginning, don't tell that you are Dalit, otherwise nobody will come to you. But when we become a big, you are offering a good services. Nobody cares in cities. You have a Dalit 5-star hotel, like a Taj hotels, Ashoka hotels. So don't you think that people will come? What do you say, Miss Poonam? Suppose you are having a 5-star hotel, Poonam 5-star hotel. A person will inquire whether Poonam is a Dalit or not. No, you are offering a good services. People come there. What about Sudhir, Mr. Sudhir Jinde? You are having, suppose, a very big restaurant. Sudhir Jinde, 5-star restaurant. People do come there. Who cares whether Sudhir Jinde is a Dalit or not? That is the way how we can normalize acceptance. That is the way how we can counter the normalization of the hatred, Dalit hatred. Since we are not creating such a things, since middle class of Dalit middle class not creating, see, where are the areas, you see, how this caste system survives, how the humiliation, only on the single front, that is humiliating when you are not given the water and food. That's it. You are accepted as engineer, you are accepted as a lawyer, you are accepted as a doctor, but you are not accepted for food interaction, for water interaction. What I'm trying to say that in the beginning, first phase, you start a hotels and restaurants. Don't tell you are a Dalit. When you become a brand, wow, Sudhir chains of hotels, Poonam chains of hotels. People do come. 5-star hotels, people do come. They don't bother, even if Poonam writes Poonam Chaudhary Dalit. Nobody bothers. Hurry, Dalits also having 5-star hotels. People go. Create that brand image. Create that brand image based on your good service. Dalit community people know they are very, very sincere. They don't fool the people. They provide good services. And Dalit community business people, they are not like other the business people. They always do proper business, fair business. They don't do malpractices. Earn that image, create that image. Who is stopping you? We are still in that old image of reservations. No, we are not talking about against the reservations. But Dalit middle class already earned some capital due to reservations. We should not wait for our children to get a jobs in the reservation. Let's invest that money in the business. Invest that money in the trade. I think we will have some other lecture. Dalit business, we will have some other lecture. So, Mr. Sudhir, what I'm trying to say that, see, with regard to blacks issue, it is an economic issue. Blacks people are not as poor as and like they don't get a treatment like untouchables, like Dalits. Fundamental issue is that we are discriminated not because we are blacks, but Jews are discriminated not because of blacks. We are discriminated, Jews are discriminated. I said this is my own word, quote unquote. Sorry, it's a quote from my side. Remember, what is that? Jews are discriminated because they have a culture. Dalits are discriminated because Dalits don't have culture. Whose theory it is? Whose theory it is? It is Professor Karunyakara's theory.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Professor Karunyakara is going to bring a new theory called pure Dalit theory, in which I am going to state.
Yeah.
Jews are discriminated because they have culture. Dalits are discriminated because they don't have culture. So to come out of the discrimination, what we have to do? We have to build our own culture. And what kind of that culture? That culture should have universal roots. then only Dalits become acceptable to everyone. Why are you trying to become acceptable to only Dalits? Only Brahmins. Dalits should stop getting validation from the Brahmins. Why do you want validation only from the Brahmins? If you're really interested in validation, get the validation from the world. Create your own culture, universal culture. Valentine's Day is a part of that culture. Constructing our own Dalit universal culture. Right? I hope that Sudhir, I have given as far as I could give the answer.
Yes, sir. I got.
Thank you, sir. So, as I already said, this will be the last question. Now, I request Shashikant Sambodhi to please give formal vote of thanks.
Thank you. On behalf of KIDK, I warmly thank Professor Dr. L. Karunyakara sir, a respected Dalit historian and Ambedkarite thinker, for chairing today's session, as well as his wonderful lecture and thought-provoking lecture as a key speaker on the topic Ambedkar Text 4, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Writings and Speeches, Volume 17, Part 1, Section 31. Dr. Ambedkar and the Jewish people. Professor is a former Vice Chancellor of MGHB University, Central University, Wardha, Maharashtra, and an expert of Dalit affairs, as well as Dr. Ambedkar Writings and Speeches. Our sincere thanks to all the participants and attendees of 36th online lecture in the KIDK lecture series. A special thanks to our coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana, Dr. Smita Bhagat, Mr. Akash Khobragade, Mr. Shreyat, Mr. Vijay for this continuous effort and support in making this session successful. This lecture series started on Ambedkar Jayanti 2025 continues to spread knowledge and new ideas in the field of Dalit studies. Thank you once again to everyone for your valuable participation. And before we close, don't forget to subscribe to the Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where this recorded session will be uploaded soon. Jai Bhim. The session is over.